A single flame dances in the darkness, casting long, trembling shadows across rough stone. The air is cool and heavy, thick with the scent of earth and time. Somewhere, deep beneath the surface of the world, a human hand reaches out, not to build, not to hunt, but to create. With each careful stroke of pigment, a silent message is left behind, echoing across tens of thousands of years. Long before the first cities rose or the first words were written, our ancestors found ways to speak without sound. They pressed their palms against cave walls, traced the outlines of animals, and filled hidden chambers with visions of life, danger, and hope. These images, preserved in the darkness, are more than ancient decorations. They are the earliest chapters of our shared story, testaments to imagination, memory, and the need to be remembered. Today, these mysterious paintings and engravings remain hidden in the depths of caves across Europe, Africa, Asia, and Australia. They are not just relics of a forgotten age, but living bridges to the people we once were. As we step into the world of ancient cave art, we begin to unravel the secrets of humanity's first storytellers and discover how their creativity still shapes us today. Let's journey back to where it all began and explore the extraordinary legacy left behind on stone walls, deep in the heart of the earth. Our journey into the world of ancient cave art begins not with a single discovery, but with a series of revelations that have unfolded over centuries. For much of human history, the idea that our distant ancestors could create sophisticated art seemed almost impossible. Early scholars imagined prehistoric people as little more than brutes, struggling for survival, their lives dictated by hunger and fear. But the walls of the earth held a different story, one that would challenge everything we thought we knew about the origins of creativity. The first crack in this old belief came in 1879, in the rolling hills of northern Spain. Marcelino Sanz de Sautuola, a Spanish nobleman and amateur archaeologist, was exploring a cave on his estate with his young daughter Maria. As they moved deeper into the darkness, Maria's eyes caught something extraordinary above her head. "Look, Papa, oxen!" she cried, pointing to the ceiling. There, illuminated by the flickering light, were vivid images of bison, painted with a skill and realism that seemed almost impossible for their supposed age. At first, the world refused to believe it. The paintings of Altamira were dismissed as clever forgeries, the work of a modern hand. It would take decades and the discovery of similar art in other caves before the truth was accepted. These masterpieces were genuine, created by people who lived more than 15,000 years ago. The Altamira cave became a symbol of lost worlds and forgotten talents, a reminder that the past is often more complex than we imagine. But Altamira was only the beginning. In 1940, 4 teenagers chasing after a dog stumbled into the Lascaux cave in southwestern France. What they found would stun the world, a vast underground gallery, its walls alive with images of horses, stags, and bulls, painted in ochre, black, and red. The sheer scale and beauty of the artwork earned Lascaux the nickname the Sistine Chapel of Prehistory. Here, the animals seem to move and breathe, their bodies rendered with a sense of motion and perspective that rivals the work of Renaissance masters. Yet even Lascaux would be surpassed. In 1994, 3 amateur spelunkers exploring the cliffs of the Ardèche River Valley in southern France made a discovery that would rewrite the history of art. Crawling through a narrow passage, they entered a chamber untouched for over 30,000 years. The walls of Chauveet Cave were covered with hundreds of paintings, lions stalking prey, mammoths lumbering through the darkness, rhinoceroses locked in combat. The sophistication of the images was breathtaking, their age astonishing. Here, in the depths of the earth, was proof that the urge to create, to tell stories through images, was as old as humanity itself. But how did these ancient artists work? The answer reveals a world of ingenuity and determination. To reach their canvas, they often had to crawl through tight tunnels, descend into pitch-black chambers, and carry with them everything they needed. Torches for light, pigments for color, and tools for painting. The pigments themselves were made from the earth. Red and yellow ochre, black charcoal, white chalk, mixed with animal fat or water to create paints that would endure for millennia. Sometimes they used brushes made from animal hair or chewed sticks. Other times, they blew pigment through hollow bones, creating delicate stencils of their own hands. The artists of Lascaux and Chauvet were not content with simple outlines. They experimented with shading, perspective, and even animation. In some scenes, animals are shown with multiple legs, as if caught in motion, a prehistoric attempt to capture the blur of a running herd. The natural curves and bumps of the cave walls were used to give the images a 3-dimensional quality, making the animals seem to leap from the stone. In the Hall of Bulls at Lascaux, the bodies of aurochs and horses flow across the ceiling, their forms overlapping and intertwining in a dynamic dance of life. But what did these images mean? The answer remains one of archaeology's greatest mysteries. Some scholars believe the paintings were part of hunting rituals, meant to ensure success or honor the spirits of the animals. Others see them as expressions of religious belief, windows into a world where humans and animals shared a spiritual connection. The French prehistorian Jean Clotz has argued that the caves were sanctuaries, places of ceremony and transformation, where the boundaries between worlds grew thin. The subjects of the paintings offer clues to the lives and fears of their creators. Horses, bison, mammoths, and reindeer dominate the walls, reflecting the animals that were central to survival. But there are also images of predators, lions, bears, and rhinoceroses, creatures that inspired awe and terror. In some caves, human figures appear, often in strange, abstract forms. Handprints, both positive and negative, are found throughout Europe and Asia, as if the artists were reaching out across time to say, "I was here, I existed." Cave art is not limited to Europe. In the limestone caves of Sulawesi, Indonesia, archaeologists have found hand stencils and paintings of wild pigs and buffalo, some dating back over 40,000 years, just as old as the oldest European art. In Australia, Aboriginal rock art traditions stretch back at least 30,000 years, and maybe even older. These discoveries reveal that the impulse to create art was not confined to one place or people. It was a universal human trait, emerging wherever our ancestors traveled. Recent research has uncovered even more astonishing details. In some caves, traces of ancient lamps have been found, stone bowls filled with animal fat, their wicks still blackened by smoke. These lamps provided a steady flickering light, allowing artists to work deep underground. In Lascaux, evidence suggests that scaffolding was used to reach high ceilings, and that certain individuals may have specialized as artists, passing their skills from generation to generation. The techniques used were remarkably advanced. Artists mixed pigments to create different shades, layered colors for depth, and used their fingers, brushes, and even their breath to apply paint. In some cases, they engraved images into the rock before painting, or scraped away the surface to create a smoother canvas. The result is art that is both technically impressive and deeply moving, a testament to the creativity and intelligence of people who lived in a world very different from our own. The meanings behind the art remain elusive. Some researchers believe the images were part of shamanic rituals, journeys into the spirit world guided by the flicker of firelight and the echo of voices in the dark. Others see them as early forms of storytelling, ways to teach the young about the dangers and wonders of the world. In 2019, a team of archaeologists in Indonesia discovered what may be the oldest narrative scene ever found. A group of hunters, armed with spears and ropes, pursuing wild pigs and buffalo. Painted 44,000 years ago, this scene suggests that the urge to tell stories through images is as ancient as humanity itself. Modern technology has opened new windows into the past. Using advanced dating techniques, scientists have identified some of the oldest known cave art. A red disc in Spain's El Castillo cave, at least 40,800 years old, and possibly created by Neanderthals. In France's Chauvet cave, researchers have found evidence that the artists observed the stars, painting patterns that may represent constellations. These discoveries challenge our assumptions about the intelligence and creativity of our ancient relatives, blurring the lines between us and them. Yet these treasures are fragile. The caves that protected the art for millennia are now threatened by climate change, pollution, and the touch of curious visitors. In Lascaux, the breath and warmth of thousands of tourists led to the growth of mold, forcing the cave to be closed to the public. Today, exact replicas allow people to experience the wonder of these ancient galleries without endangering the originals. But the question remains, how much longer can we preserve these windows into our past? Each new discovery adds another piece to the puzzle of who we are. The art left behind by our ancestors is more than a record of animals and hunts. It is a testament to imagination, memory, and the need to connect. In the flickering light of a torch, deep beneath the earth, the first stories were told, not with words, but with images that still speak to us across the ages. These ancient cave paintings are more than relics. They are living echoes of our shared humanity. Each handprint and painted animal is a message from the past, reminding us that creativity and storytelling are at the heart of what it means to be human. As we face our own challenges, these first artists inspire us to keep reaching, imagining, and connecting. If this journey into humanity's earliest stories moved you, please subscribe for more explorations into our remarkable past. What story will you leave behind? Share your thoughts below, and join us next time for more discoveries.